It's time for you to see the best team for Game Week 3. Today I have not only prepared the best team for you for Game Week 3, but I've prepared a differential draft that I'm going to showcase to you later. So if you're already struggling with rank and you feel stressed about it, I've prepared some good differentials with good fixtures in the future that you can put in your team. But let's focus on the best team. If you're a guy that plays steadily game and do not care about percentages, or if you are playing fantasy for game by game, do not care about overall rank, I prepared for me the best team for Game Week 3. In Go, I opted for Onana. Before discussing Onana, as you can see, I'm going for a budget less than 100 million, so everyone in the game can afford it. I'm not opting for specific prices and etc. because I do not believe that this cares at the moment. I believe that if you own players and you have around 100 million, you can afford this team, so it will be good for you to have it. Let's wrap up the Onana pick. The Onana pick, I know United just lost to Spurs 2-0, but Onana is playing okay. If they can convert their chances and keeping clean sheets, I believe Onana is going to be very, very good. And against Nottingham Forest, I believe that he's going to keep a clean sheet. I'm not opting for Ederson or Rob Sanchez from Chelsea because I have more players up front that occupy those positions, and I do not want to add a second defensive player from the same team. So the third best fixture in my opinion is for Manchester United next game week, so that's why I'm opting for Onana. And if you are doing it only for game week 3, you should be doing that as well, in my opinion. In defense, I'm opting for a very, very strong defense, only 3 defenders, but what defenders they are. As you can see, I'm not opting for an Arsenal defender because I believe those 3 will get better points than Arsenal. Even though Arsenal are playing at home against Fulham, I believe that the attacking returns from Estupinian, who already scored a goal and made an assist in game week 2. Chilwell, I'm recording the video before the game against West Ham, but I believe that Chilwell is going to be a great option there, and the home game against Luton is the best fixture to do so. Estupinian against West Ham, you cannot do any wrong with that. It's a home game. Estupinian is playing brilliantly well. I do not think that I'm benching him anytime soon. Even for the harder fixtures, I believe that he can make an attacking return in every game. Basically, Brighton are that good. And Gvardiol is the cheapest route to the Manchester City defense right now. He was picked instead of Ake in the game against Newcastle, and I believe, yeah, he's a rotation risk, but with the price tag that he was costing Manchester City, I believe that he's going to be starting more and more games. Even now with John Stones being injured, Laporte being rumored that he's going to leave, I believe Gvardiol is going to take that left back, left center back position and make it his own. I know I'm missing some defenders like Matt Cash, Riku Henry, an Arsenal defender, maybe someone from Manchester United, but I already explained that I'm not relying on too many defenders from the same team because, yeah, if the clean sheet is there, it's perfect, but if they concede a goal, you lose a lot of clean sheet points at once, and this way you at least give yourself a chance to get attacking returns from some of the defenders. Gvardiol is a defensive pick, don't get me wrong, he's not going to get a lot of attacking returns, but they looked solid against Newcastle, and I believe against Sheffield United they will do as well. So yeah, Gvardiol, the cheapest route to the Manchester City defense. Chilwell, from perspective attacking one and defensive perspective, now that Caicedo and Tuavi are into the side, I believe that they will improve massively, and Chilwell is a great option. Estupinian, you saw what he did against Wolves. I believe that he can do that against every team basically, so yeah, I am opting for Estupinian here. If you believe that some other defenders are going to do better, write them down in the comment section, but I will be very, very hard to persuade that this is not the best possible defense for game week 3. In midfield, as you can see, 4 players from 4 different sides. Let's discuss first Maddison. Maddison did okay against Manchester United. He did not get a return, which is okay right now because if he got a return at that point, his ownership would have skyrocketed for sure. Now, maybe some non-playing managers or some do not follow the game will say, okay, he is having not a lot of points, let's go for someone else like probably Mbumo or Solly March or something like that. But for me, Maddison is going to do great, especially against a weaker side. Bournemouth, they were looking okay against Liverpool in the first 20 minutes, but after that, they were bad, in my opinion. Even with 10 players, Liverpool looked better. And I believe that Maddison and Spurs will score a lot of goals, and they have an okay fixture run. So after that, I do not know if you care about your overall rank, but for me, Madison can bring you points week in and week out. So yeah, he's a very, very good option. Saka, the game is on Monday. I'm recording that video on Saturday evening. So yeah, it's hard to say how he's going to play against Crystal Palace. But regardless, a home game against Fulham, it's always a good game to own the Arsenal's talisman. He's on penalties most probably. I haven't seen any rumors that he will be off them. I think that he's going to play 90 minutes the whole duration of the game. He has a lot of opportunities. He can score with the left foot, with the right foot. Everything looks perfectly fine for him. And so at least one Arsenal player for me is needed in that side. And I did not find space for a defender. But for midfielder of the rank of Saka, for me, it's a no-brainer to go without him. Phil Foden, he did pretty okay against Newcastle. He assisted Alvarez. The assist was nothing special. He provided the ball and Alvarez scored the goal. But as a midfielder, that is going to have a great fixture run from now on. Even though he is a rotation risk, he can explode in different games. So yeah, Foden, it's very, very hard to ignore him. Away game against Sheffield United. It's a very good game to start owning Foden. If you don't own him right now, for me, this is the best time to own him, because away to Sheffield are not looking great. And me personally, I will be most probably going with only one such player in game week 3, and that will be very scary. But we have to see how the game turns out during the week. If some injury rumors are here and there, we'll have to monitor a lot of players. But yeah, Foden, a very good option if you're going for another City attacker. And Mbeumo, he is the guy in form right now. He's scoring as many goals as Solly March, but he's on penalties, so that's an extra thing in his arsenal. He's playing over 90 minutes every game week. So yeah, he's staying for the whole duration of the game. So yeah, home game against Crystal Palace, I expect a lot of returns from him once again. And he's the guy in form, so I couldn't leave him out of the squad. As you can see, I do not own any Manchester United players. I'm very disappointed with how they are playing attacking-wise. I believe Garnacho is the main issue for their issues, because he's not passing the ball enough. And Bruno Fernandes missed a sitter against Spurs. I believe that he should have scored. He should have been awarded a penalty, which most probably would have been a goal, but the referee did not decided to go for a penalty, even though it was a handball and it was away from the body. In my opinion, that's a penalty. And yeah, Manchester United last week did not get penalty against. This week did not get penalty for. So the points are basically balanced. But for me, fantasy-wise, owning attackers from Manchester United looks terrifically bad right now. I will have to see how they will perform, but a home game against Nottingham Forest is hard to ignore if you're an owner. But if you want to attack the best fixtures and the best team, I do not think Manchester United right now are classified as that. In midfield for Liverpool, Diaz scored another goal, so he's an option as well. But a game against Newcastle, who has just lost against Manchester City, will be hard to just put in Liverpool players. So in my opinion, this midfield is the strongest one. Maybe a Brighton player is needed, but I wanted to include one more player in the attacking line because I believe they have better fixtures than Brighton, and Brighton players are not nailed, so I cannot get the 90 minutes from every player. But it seems like that March and Mitoma will be playing a lot of minutes. If they do not buy anyone else, I believe that if they start to get rotated for Europe, it will be hard to ignore. But right now, up until game week 6, I believe that the Brighton midfielders will do bits. So yeah, if you have a Brighton midfielder, it's no use to transfer him out because he's a perfectly good option. But those 4 midfielders, in my opinion, will tear game week 3. And yeah, let's monitor it. Manchester United attacker is the big miss here, but as I already explained with the defenders, you cannot own them all. So yeah, 4 midfielders, if you have options that I'm missing or someone that I have not said or just want to say it, put it in the comments. But yeah, let's move to the forward line. In attack, I'm opting for 3 very, very serious strikers. Let's discuss Oli Watkins. For me, I went for João Pedro, and this was one of my mistakes because he's obviously not nailed. And Oli Watkins is their talisman. For now, he is looking all right. I'm afraid to put him in my side because after game week 3, they are going to play in Europe, and they do not have another striker that can just go for him. But yeah, Oli Watkins, in my opinion, a very, very good choice to be owning in game week 3 before the European football starts for them. And for me, no worries about his game time for sure, because he may be rested in game week 4, but no, game week 4 is a game against game week 4 is a game against Liverpool, so yeah, it will be hard to ignore him, but he may get tired and may get substituted early on. But for game week 3, I'm more than satisfied to be owning Watkins. But yeah, a home against the away fixture against Burnley, I believe that Oli Watkins will score, so it's a good addition to the side. Jackson, I have not seen him yet score, but those fixtures are hard to ignore. I'm looking to put him in my side because I'm afraid that Chelsea will score a lot of goals now when they own so many midfielders, and they will settle the defensive problems. So they will have more more players in attack, and yeah, a very solid player Jackson. And Haaland, for me, you cannot build a draft against Haaland. And yeah, he did not score against Newcastle, but Sheffield United are going to be a way easier opposition, and he's not going to be tired. He's going to be rested for a week. So yeah, I believe that he will be back to his regular best. He's the greatest captain option in this game week, even though a lot of players are having good fixtures this game week. For me, Haaland is the guy that you should be captaining most probably. For the bench, you do not care about bench, because if that's the best team that you're going week in and week out, maybe put a player that can be rotated if someone doesn't play. But most obviously, those guys will be playing because they're solid, they're good. And I believe that the bench should be as cheap as possible, maybe 4.0 defenders and a 4.5 mid by your choice. It's good enough. But yeah, I believe that team is the best. I'm missing Quissa from Brentford, who seems to be scoring every game week as well. I'm not owning a Brentford attacker, which I am being punished for. But yeah, it's a hard start for me. I will be discussing that in the team selection, how I'm going to approach the game going forward. But yeah, I should not affect your perception of the players just by my rank, so I will not be mentioning it anymore. But yeah, Haaland, Jackson and Watkins, pretty good forward line, and I believe this team as a whole is a very good one. Now let's go and see a differential draft where I will showcase some differential players that you can pick to gain rank if you are in a bad position right now. They will be good enough, and if you want to have them just for this next game week, it's perfectly fine. But if you want to have them for the longer term, it will be still fine because the team is balanced around future fixtures, not only game week 3. Yes, some of the players are for game week 3, but for me, most of the players are very viable up until game week 5 and 6 at least. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me massively. Like the video if you like my picks and my differential drafts and best teams. Comment down if you have any other suggestions. I'll be happy to discuss it with some of you. But now let's go to the differential draft. I'll be doing it most probably almost every week. Not only the best team for the week, but the best differential 11. So you can just pick a differential here and there if you need it and if you want to do it. Those differentials are the best for me for that game week, but most of them can be, as already explained, used for the future as well. I was very surprised to see that some of the best players, are so low owned, but some of the other percentages are pretty obvious. I was starting goal. For me, Rob Sanchez is now the number 1 of Chelsea. And if you want to replace already your goalkeeper and you don't want to burn a transfer and you're already settled for game week 3, Sanchez is going to be okay pick. I do not like it a lot, I'll be perfectly honest, but for such low percentages, and if you don't mind owning 2 defenders from Chelsea, because for me Chilwell is a must, and if you want someone nailed from Chelsea and a second Chelsea defender, Rob Sanchez is the best guy for you here because he is first cheap, then he is a Chelsea goalkeeper, and if they stop conceding goals, he'll get some clean sheets. He's not getting saves, don't get me wrong, because he's just not getting saves in my opinion. Not a lot of bonus points, but the clean sheets will be racking up clean sheet by clean sheet. So yeah, he is a okay option, not the best for me, but for such low ownership and with the futures ahead, it's hard to ignore him for the differential draft at least. In defense, Gvardiol makes the draft once again. I believe that he is a very good defender, and he's 3.5 percentages owned, so you'll be getting into the Chelsea defense pretty soon before anyone else. So I know a lot of players are looking for replacement for Gabriel, and they do not want to have him for the future, and Gvardiol is the best replacement right now for relatively the same price if you don't have the money to go up. Another great option is Rafael Varane. He is very threatening from set pieces. He is in Manchester United defense, and Luke Shaw and Onana are very highly owned, but Varane is only 5.1% owned. So every point for him is a very, very nice point for you. You'll be getting ahead of everyone. So yeah, Varane, a very, very good choice. Here, I know they just conceded 2 goals against Spurs, but come on, not every opposition is as good as Spurs. The third player is a Spurs defender. Their fixtures now turn from the better, and as you saw, they have a game against Bournemouth. 2.3% just for their left back, who is sometimes being substituted, which means that he can bang a clean sheet even if Spurs concede. He's good with the ball, he's playing well, and for me, Udogie will be one of the discoveries of the season and one of the best young players of the season for sure. And the 2.3% just is looking very, very nice. The final defender here, it was very difficult to decide between Rico Henry and Cash, but I believe Cash for the next couple of fixtures is going to be way more attacking because they will play a 4 at the back and he can overlap and he can provide crosses. He will basically do everything as good as possible. They're having an okay fixture in game week 3. So yeah, 7.6. I was pretty surprised that he was that low owned, but Rico Henry is another good option that is low owned and can sub in here. But I just wanted to showcase to you another player that we have not talked a lot about on this channel so far. In midfield, Foden under 10% ownership. So yeah, he is into the differential 11. For me, a very good player. Yeah, he's a rotation risk, but everyone from City is a rotation risk, so you cannot bet anything that he will be starting, but you can get a lot of returns from him when he's playing, especially against weaker oppositions. Diaby 9.0% is owned. For me, Diaby will be one of the best transfers in this season. He already scored against Newcastle. As I already mentioned, I am recording this before the game of Aston Villa that is taking place on Sunday. So I have not seen him play a second game, but I believe that he will be very, very good. The third position here is Richarlison. I know it's a little bit controversial, but he's only 4% owned, 3.9 to be exact. He is their striker. I know he is not playing particularly well right now, but he will get into dangerous positions, and especially against weaker oppositions, he will be more and more dangerous. And with that such low ownership, you can get ahead of everyone by putting him in your side. And if he scores the goals, but Maddison provides assists for the goals, you will bet get returns from Richarlison because he is a midfielder, and 5 points for a goal is a very good return. I'm monitoring him closely. I'm most probably not picking him for game week 3, but for game week 4 and 5, if he's doing well in game week 3, I can jump easily on the bandwagon. And the final guy here is Sterling. I just wanted to put a Chelsea player, and for me, he is the most nailed differential pick because Jackson is not differential. Sanchez is a differential that he's picked, but Chilwell is not. So it was between him and Enzo Fernandez, but I need to see how the midfield is looking right now when Enzo, Caicedo, and Tuavia play together, because I believe that's the starting midfield from Chelsea now on. But yeah, for me, Sterling, pretty solid pick. He is a Prem player, already established with Reece James out. I believe that they will refer to 4 at the back, so Sterling will be playing his regular position on the wing, and he can do bits, especially against weaker oppositions when he seems to be thriving the most. Yeah, I know it's a little bit controversial, but yeah, Sterling for me is very, very good. Up front is Alvarez. I like Alvarez position. When he plays, he already has an assist and a goal, so 2 returns in 2 games. Only strikers that made already those returns are Wissa, who is another player here, and the Semenya was called from Bournemouth. The only 2 strikers that are returned so far. I believe they are very, very good strikers. And Alvarez at 5.7% is owned. You can get ahead of the game with so easy fixtures coming up from Manchester City, and with the injury for Kevin De Bruyne. If you have enough space and already own a Spurs player, you can concentrate on another City player or even take a hit. I believe Alvarez is a very good addition to your side, and at such low ownership, he will do great. And Wissa, as already mentioned, 2 goals in 2 games, he's doing very well. He's the most scoring forward right now in the game, and 8.0% looks like a steal. So he's around 6 million. I've not put prices here, but as you can see, not a lot of cheap players, not anyone above 7.5, I think. Yeah, so pretty cheap. You can afford everyone from here. And yeah, this for me is a differential draft. I believe that a lot of those players can boost your rank for the future, not only for this game week, but for futures as well. If you're trying to play a different type of game, if you enjoy those differential drafts and want to see more, say it in the comment section, because I enjoy finding hidden gems that are not owned a lot and just to integrate them to my site. I hope you're enjoying my content. Subscribe if you do, you're helping me a lot. I'm already starting to build a small community, small community, because some of the players are joining me on my streams, and I hope to see many more of you on my deadlines and on my watch along. So I hope to see you there. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.